homestead again. Good to see y'all. Hey, we've got some great updates we want to show y'all. Spring is such a beautiful, beautiful time on the homestead. Well, it's a beautiful time anywhere, but especially on the homestead, everything is Twitter-pated and thinking about love and making babies, and I just want to show you. Eve has a litter of 8, and I'm just going to pull a couple out here if I can hold on to them because they're rather wiggly. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. It's okay. They're very resilient, and there's hay all over the floor, so but you got to hang on to them because they're loaded. They're loaded with springs. These guys are pushing, let's see, Friday. Okay, this is Easter Sunday when this is filmed, by the way. So, which is May 27th, or March 27th, I'm sorry. So this coming Friday, which is April 1st, April Fool's Day, these guys will be 3 weeks old. Yay! So they're just over 2 weeks old. They've only had their eyes open for a few days. Usually between 10 and 14 days is what I've noticed is when they get their eyes open. Sometimes, these are cornflakes babies. He sired this litter. Well, he'll be siring, I guess, all of our big rabbits for a while because he's the only buck we have right now. But we're going to see what happens. We're going to try to maybe save a couple of these. I don't know, at least a doe maybe. I don't know. We're just going to see what happens. Look at those big old ears. Cornflake, I'm going to tell you what, he is just about the best buck I have seen as far as a New Zealand buck. He's throwing big, strong babies for their size. Now you got to give Eve some credit because she's got to feed these little rascals, okay? She's got 8 of them. But 10 or 12 is very easily possible with these young ladies. And the thing is, she's got 8. But for a litter of 8 at just over 2 weeks old, it is unbelievable how large these guys are already. So hopefully, this next on that same day when these youngsters are 3 weeks old, we will rebreed the doe. That's usually what we do. And then these guys, the meat rabbits, we wean them at 5 weeks old. And what that does is that gives them. Now what that does, when the babies are 3 weeks old, the doe's rebred. Now that does 2 things. Number 1, that sets a time because when she's rebred, she's over a period of a couple of weeks, she's going to start to dry up. So 2 weeks later, she should be just about, and as she starts to dry up, it's gonna naturally motivate the youngsters to eat more natural food rather than depend on nursing from mama. Because once they come out of the nest box, they're going to follow mama around. They're going to try to nurse night and day. They're not just going to be in the nest box and get fed once a day in the middle of the night anymore. The rest of the time, the hungry rascals will follow mama around all day long. Now, I want you to look at this. Swing this camera around this way. Ordinarily, the babies are in the nest box. And mama will sit up here and the babies can't get to, but see, all the babies are out of the nest box. Okay, well mama needed a break, so look where she is. We've had a role reversal here. All the babies are up here. They're big, strong, healthy, just as cute as they can be. But mama needed a break, so she comes and hides in the nest box since nobody's there but her now. What's the matter with you? Oh, honey, I'm sorry. Here you go, sweetheart. Did you run low? Or out? Here you go, sweetie. There you go. She was scratching at the wall there, trying to get some of that hay that her neighbor Pearl here has piled up over here. Here, take it easy. Anyway, on with the show here. You saw one of Jesse's little babies. Now I want to show you. Have you ever seen a calico? I call them calicos. They're tricolor. They're not technically called a calico. And really these are, I don't know, you rabbit color people out there, tell me what color these are. See the black and the red. And they've got, shows up. And it looks, huh? Well, back out there and I'll bring some of the, she's going to back out the door here into the light and the rabbitry's not that good, and I'll bring them out here in the light. so we can see. Yeah, that should be getting better. Now, can you see the color of these guys? Look, black. Okay, this one almost looks tiger. They almost look tiger striped. See? And underneath, mostly white. Not quite, but mostly white. If any of you rabbit color people out there, that's something that I need to learn. You know, I've been around rabbits most of my life, but it was always, I was growing rabbits for something to eat. I didn't worry about what color they were. If it looked brown, it was brown. If it was white, it was white. Black rabbit's a black rabbit. But when you start getting into color patterns and certain colors and what have you, I am just kind of sort of at a loss. And so, that being said, any of you folks know what these color patterns are? I did have I don't have that person's YouTube name right off the top of my head, but I did have a person that commented, I don't know, the last 2 or 3 weeks, I think, and helped me out with some of the colors as having to do with Sarabi's litter that was in a previous video. Let me grab another one. This is the last one. This one too is, I guess, tricolored. There's white underneath, a little white in the ears, around the eyes, but mostly, look at the red, beautiful red, but it's like a tiger striped in black. Somebody tell me what that is. Cute little rascals. It's unusual. It's not something, I don't think it's a color that I've seen. You know, I don't recall ever seeing a tricolored rabbit, at least not covering the entire body of the rabbit. I've seen a broken that had multiple, you know, black and the red. But that's Ginger's third baby. Looks like it's getting its eyes open. Just working on it. They'll be up and out of the box probably in a day or two. I showed you Jesse's. I'm gonna grab. Okay, moving on to the next box. Okay, these are Pearls. Remember, Pearl was grand champion at the fair this last fall. Okay. And by doing a little research online, I believe this is what you would call, this is either a lilac or a blue. Now, when I look at these out in the light, they're a little, this one especially is a little bit darker in color than Pearl is herself. Bear in mind though that these babies' daddy is a solid black, and every time I pick these guys up, they pee on me. There we go. I promise I'm not squeezing it. Okay, shake it out. There we go. All right, back in the hand. Anyway, you gotta love them. You have to love them to put up with stuff like that. Anyway, these are Netherland dwarf. Sire and dam are both Netherland dwarf. There's no crossing or anything here, but you'll see they appear to be self-colored. And again, you rabbit show people, tell me, would you consider this a lilac or a blue? My guess is it could probably a blue, considering that Pepper being black. And the way I understand it is, if there's a dilution gene, which they may have gotten from Mama, I don't know. I still have a lot to learn about this type of stuff. But the way I understand it, if you dilute black, which Pepper is black, if you dilute black, you get blue. Now, Mama appears to be a lilac, because she's a lot lighter in color. But I could have that wrong. But anyway, aren't they beautiful? These, I don't know if they're male or female. These will probably go into our breeding program. There's a very good chance that they will go to the fair this fall. We'll just have to see. Of course, hopefully, God willing, and the creeks don't rise, we're going to have more litters. She did have a peanut, Pearl did, and it lived to be a day or two old, and then it died. It was a little black one. It was about, at birth, it was about half the size of these. Of course, these have already doubled in size. They're like little tiny fattening hogs. But anyway, I look forward to showing you these guys as they grow up a little. But I'll put these back, and now Skye These are Pearl's babies. Skye also has babies. Everybody out here has babies except for Salt. Salt lost her litter. And I'm yelling because I don't know how well the camera picks up. I'm sorry if it's too loud. Salt lost her litter. It was cold. Salt had 3, but anyway, it was particularly cold that morning when she had them, and it was actually her first litter, and they didn't make it. Remember a while back I said something to you about Skye, about her being a little grumpy and a little aggressive? Well, oddly enough, now that her babies have been born, she's her sweet, gentle self again. Aren't you, Skye baby? Huh? See, she doesn't grunt. She doesn't grunt, growl, or grumble, or anything. Come on, baby. See? She's back to her old sweet, lovable self. Is this picking me up? Yeah.
I can see her too.
Yeah. See, Skye's a lot darker in color than Pearl. And I think this is what you would call a blue. But again, you rabbit show people know more about that than I do. It looks like we've got this is a chestnut. Little chestnut. Now this one's dark. I don't know if that's a black. There's another, this one. This one looks to be chestnut as well, but it's not. See, there's not as much black in it. And I don't know what that's called or what it isn't called. Okay. This one, this is a black, but it's a black. This is otter. You'll notice how the color, the black, it's more of a solid color black rather than black and brown mixed together in a wild rabbit type of pattern. This is, see how the black is more solid black? Now there's a little around its tail.
Yeah, that's definitely Mufasa's kid.
But it is pretty, very pretty. Yeah, I forgot to tell you, Pearl's babies were
Skye's.
Yeah, I'll get it right one of these days. Skye's babies were sired by Mufasa, our little, I don't know if he would be, I don't even know if you have a Charlie in Lionhead or not, but if there is such a thing, I think that's probably what he is. But at the very least, he's a broken Lionhead. As you can see, I believe what we have here is a blue otter. See underneath? And in the ears, see how we've got the light color pattern? But there's not really the chocolate or the brown or yellow, whatever you want to call it, mixed in with the fur there. We'll be able to tell more about them as they get older. But aren't they cute little rascals? Some of these are going to be pets or breeding stock for someone else. This one possibly, depending on if it's male or female, or it might be either way. This one possibly could end up staying with us. But we'll see. Sarabi is due to her babies are gone. They were all sold over. Well, the last ones left this past week. The last 2 went together, and the others were sold individually to. They were sold for pets, and she had 6. They're all gone, and she is due to have babies again on the 4th of April, which is not tomorrow. Remember I said this is Easter Sunday, we're filming this, but not tomorrow, but next Monday is when she's due to kindle her next litter. So she's without babies right now, so she's getting a little breaks. That's when she gets to gain a little weight back, and so on and so forth. They get to gain a little weight back, and so on. In between nursing, gives them a chance to dry up for a little bit. Okay, so there, all 4 of those are back in there. Okay, Skye, see, we didn't hurt them. They're just fine. Okay, and down here You've already seen one of Jesse's babies. Like I say, Sarabi's in there. See, she's laid back, chilling, enjoying the break without having kiddos running her ragged. And these are the other. These four, once that one has been removed, these four are just doing extremely well. This one, especially in my right hand here, this one here is especially fat. I was telling Dana and Becca yesterday that it amazes me how much. I have to give a lot of the credit to to the doe, because I do have to. But there's only 4 of them. But still yet, the babies that Cornflake has sired, it is just simply unbelievable to me at 2 weeks old or just under how much they weigh already. So anyway, there's 2 of those. They're all red-eyed white, the entire litter, just like Eve's. That's all Eve or Jesse will have until we have a buck that's got some color, because best I understand, if you mix a red-eyed white or an albino with a red-eyed white or albino doe, that's pretty much all you're going to get out of, baby-wise. That's what's happened here. There's not a spot of color on them anywhere, unless you count the red on in their eyes, and I don't. So anyway, we're going to cut the camera off, and we're going to take you outside. We've got one more litter to show you, and that's velveteens, okay? And we'll be back with you in just a second.
Now.
Okay, here we are back outside the rabbitry again. This little youngster, I'm pretty sure, I ain't gonna swear to it, but I'm pretty sure she's gonna stay with me, if it's a she. But it looks like it's gonna be a diluted. Now, I may not be using the right words. These colors, it may grow in darker later on, but these colors appear to be diluted, but at the same time, it's a broken. So there may be a special term for that, but at the same time, this almost looks like it might be some kind of a steel blue or something. So I might change my mind as it gets a little bit older and I get a little bit better look at it, but right now, just due to the unusual, to me anyway, color pattern, as it stands right now, this one may be staying with me. We'll see. Or I say with me, with us. I claim them all, but I guess Belvy says, hey, that's mine. Here's a couple more. These are similar to the ones that Ginger had. You'll see red and black with, I guess, is that a chestnut or otter pattern underneath? I don't know if that would be considered it or not. Nah, probably not, because we've got color inside the ears. So I don't know. But they're cute. This one's got a lot more solid color on its back, and then it's got the broken markings. If that was a cat, we'd call it a calico. See, it's got white here, and it's got, see his little white foot? Pretty neat. We'll see what happens. And of course, now you see what color Velveteen is. Okay, she's what I consider either a chestnut or a, I don't think she's really, as she's gotten older, I don't think she's really a red. She's more of a chestnut. And there's daddy to this litter. So, Cornflake, red-eyed white, she's a chestnut. Or maybe not a chestnut. Yeah, she's a chestnut. She's got a white belly. I don't know. You tell me, folks. She don't appear to have the white pattern in her ear. I don't know. But anyway, you see this baby? Where does this baby come from? You see who the neighbor on the other side of Velvy is. I just wonder. But they're showing the size. They're not showing the size that Pepper could have had anything to do with this. Poor guy. We won't blame him. We won't be too hard on him. But it's a pretty little rascal. It might grow up to be, we don't know, naturally we don't know buck or doe at this age, but it might grow up to be a nice pretty rabbit. Make a good breeder for somebody. the ones that don't end up being breeders for somebody, or somebody wants to purchase as a pet, folks, you know what happens to them. I won't dwell on it. I don't like to talk about it. It's just something that has to be done. But I am working on expanding our rabbitry, both with the smaller rabbits, the dwarfs, the Netherlands, and the lionheads, and the Skye. I actually have been reading, and I think Skye actually is a Polish. I don't think she's a Netherland dwarf. But anyway, that's okay, because she's not. We don't advertise any of her children as purebred anything anyway. The only purebred rabbits that we have on the place is Eve and Jesse's. Well, all the New Zealands, I guess, are. But there could, like Velveteen here and Ginger, that could be, you know, like a red and a white or something mixed. I don't know. But the only ones that really have the size, New Zealand size, in my opinion, are Jessie, Eve, and Cornflake. The others are nice big rabbits, but they are not as large as what I feel a New Zealand should be, and what the standard says New Zealand should and can be. So we don't know really. But that's the last litter. Again, Salt. She has been rebred now. She had 3 again. That was her first litter, and they didn't make it. And I have been very upset with Salt because I have had her for going on 2 years now. And I had never gotten a litter out of her. Now, a lot of that was due to other problems that factored into it, but she's missed several times. And it actually occurred that I stood right here in front of Salt's cage, and I told Dana, I said, if I don't get a litter out of her this time, she's going down the road somewhere. She's going to go to somebody to be somebody's pet for the rest of her life or whatever. Because 2 years is way too long to be feeding a rabbit and not get anything back, you know. So she did have the litter, and it didn't make it. Well, now I know every rabbit, no matter how old they are, their first litter, there's a chance they're not going to make it because the rabbit is inexperienced and they don't know what to do. A lot of times they're nervous and scared and anxious. So I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt. I should go ahead and send her on down the road. But being as it was especially cold that day and it was her first litter, I'm going to give her one more shot. So she's been rebred, and she's due somewhere around the 21st of April, give or take a day or two. And we'll see what happens then. If this is not successful, whether she has babies or not, if it's not successful, she's going to go bye-bye. I guess that's really, as far as the rabbits go, I guess that's all I really wanted to show you, or talk to you about these the video's getting pretty long anyway, so I guess you probably, if you haven't turned me off already, you're probably getting ready to. So when we have something new to show you or what have you, we'll get back with you. We'll try not to take so long to post another video the next time. I know it's been a couple of weeks. But in the meantime, y'all have a great day. Thanks for watching. God bless.